My name's Mark Baldwin. I'm Artistic Director of Rambert Dance Company. There's something very creative about this company. It's the origins of just pure creative dance. There's a couple of things immediately which we have, which other companies don't have, and that's an enduring sense of history, and also the really high quality of our productions, and at the moment, especially the really high quality of our dancers.
We tour around many venues around the UK. We perform in London at Sadler's Wells Theatre, and we perform anything between 3 and 7 performances a week.
We do 3 pieces a night. One of the pieces will always be so close to what Rambert used to be, and the other 2 pieces can go as far as they want to go. So it means that everybody's accommodated.
There's always a huge turnover of what it is that we produce, which keeps it kind of interesting for people who have followed Rambert before, but quite a large audience probably follow because of the legacy that it had, as well as the new direction that it has had and is currently having.
And we use composers and designers who are kind of working today. So if you like, our repertoire from 1926 up until now is a sort of map of what's happening in artistic circles from that time to now.
I'm Arika Oke. I'm the company archivist. The archive is there to help us get some context about the present day or the future of where we're going to go by keeping a record of the past. It's really unusual for an archive to be so deeply embedded within the life of the company that it works for. So sometimes an archive is very separate to the organisation, but here it's right inside it, and it's a living archive as well, so we're constantly getting new accessions, new things coming in. It's essential for the future of being able to restage performances. It's important for the present because it gives a complete sense of context for our dancers and everyone in the company for who we are and why we are still going and how we've developed over time.
My name is Julia Gillespie and I'm a dancer with Rambert Dance Company. Rambert I've been for 2.5 years. Usually we start the day with a class for an hour and a half, and then we have a day of rehearsals, 12 to 2, and then 3 till 6 rehearsals. They like to see a certain standard because it is going to be performed for a live audience, so you have to have quite a high level when you have to go on stage.
Often we dance to music, sometimes we don't, but in that case that can help trigger remembering steps. You rely a lot on your muscles as well, and the muscle memory, as well as the brain remembering the steps and things like that. Everything begins with the brain, so if the brain can tell the body what to do, and if you know that you can do it in your mind with your eyes closed, you can do it in your body also.
You become more precise as to memorizing exactly how it showed, because I could have remembered more steps when I was younger. It's just normal, but then now I remember less, but the quality is much better. So I'm reflecting more my inner world, and I'm reflecting what is shown to me.
When you're creating a new dance, you are creating something in the moment, but when you're doing something from before, you have to try and recreate what has happened. But also you have to bring a certain freshness to it because you are performing it in the now.
It's amazing when it comes to historic work like L'après-midi d'un faun, Afternoon of a Faun. In the 60s, when Marie Rambert, who had acquired the work, was rehearsing it, she carefully wrote down all the details. She would have seen over 30 performances by Nijinsky, the creator, and actually that gives it some kind of accuracy because she was a witness. And it lives through the details, it lives through the accuracy of the records. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's kind of acting with movement, if you like. Even his facial expressions are choreographed. There's a moment when he looks at the women and he squints his eyes at them. And that's what's written in the notes.
Most of the dancers that have danced this role have been amazing dancers throughout history. There is a pressure, but it's a bit of excitement, just trying to be as good as you can be and to do your best to kind of like match up with the weight of it.
And those tiny details are why something like an archive can exist, to keep those details going.
The movement was quite different because it's really restricted. Nijinsky was inspired by the Greek paintings on vases. A lot of the characters are in a two-dimensional image, so in order to achieve this, you have to really twist your body and then have a profile at all times. And the way we achieved this in the studio was by moving the whole dance all the way up against the mirror in order to feel really squashed by that wall. So it looks really simple, but there are many things that goes on in the mind and in the body when executing this dance. You look straight ahead, and then you raise the arm, you look up, drop the elbow down, and then just have a moment of stillness. And then you drop the hands, and now we're going to switch really quickly, and switch, chest forward there. To twist the body, and that's it. And that's the beginning, that's really good.
I'm Michaela Polly. I joined in 2001 and I originally joined as a dancer with the company and I danced with Rambert for 7 years. And then in 2008 I transferred over to being a rehearsal director. Reviving an old dance piece is very different to creating something. The steps are essentially there for you to learn. With Lady into Fox, the original version from 1939, there's actually only 12 minutes of film footage left from that original production. Mark Baldwin, the artistic director, decided was to revive it, but he would add some additional choreography and have a new score made so that he could lengthen the work to about 40 minutes. A lot of the footage was on film from the Fox and her solos and her duets with her husband, so a lot of the steps are from the original production. You're trying to make yourself dance steps that were created on another dancer from the past.
This is Andre Howard's scrapbook. Andre Howard was the choreographer for Lady into Fox, and so she's kept her press clippings, her kind of documenting her own career, review of Lady into Fox. The archive is used to restage the historical pieces. If a dance passes out of physical memory, the dancers that originally performed that piece, they're not around anymore to teach it. Then we at least have the notation, we'll have photographs so we can redo the sets. The archive is used to restage the historical pieces, so faun, but also, for example, if we were to revive ghost dances, then the archive would be really, really important.
Makeup and costume, to me, is part of creating the character, especially for my preparation before the performance actually happens. I need about half an hour, about 30 minutes preparation time to get into the headpiece, the tights, the paint, to sew on the ivy on the neck and on the waist. It's in this preparation that my mind kind of settles into the dance, and I kind of visualize becoming this half man, half animal creature. I have to have thick eyebrows that goes up to make me look more animalistic. I'd have to do this on both sides, and it takes about 5 to 7 minutes to complete. This preparation before the dance actually happens makes you feel that what you are doing is separated from normal life, and it creates this special feeling. Yeah.
Here we have the new costume that I wore as the fox. Although it looks quite heavy, it's actually quite lightweight to wear, and the feathers are light. And we actually had bare legs with this costume. The original costume, which is in this box here, the fabrics are much thicker and much heavier to wear, and actually they wore apparently knitted tights as well. The tail is made of netting, and the new tail is made of feathers. As you can see, the performance tail is quite big, quite fluffy. So I had a rehearsal tail. I needed to know where the tail was so that I could make positions on the floor, so that I didn't step on it as I got up and carried on into my movements. I had a male dancer dancing with me, and if you imagine for him, if I was doing many turns, the tail swishes around, so he needed to know how that was going to affect how he would partner me as I danced.
Most of our work is accompanied by live music, and we tour with something called the Rambert Orchestra. And I think that makes us very special. We're the only dance company that tours with its own orchestra, and that puts us in this amazing position where we can actually commission new work from young composers and actually from older composers as well.
My name is Cheryl Frances Hode, and I'm the Music Fellow at Rambert. There are quite a few ways that composers can collaborate with dancers. The first way is that I could just write a piece of music and give it to the dancer. It might not have even been written specially for dance. The dancer could just really like the music and see a story in it. We could meet and talk extensively about what the piece is going to be based on, and then I could write the piece, and they might say that bit's too short, or can I have a bit more of that, I really like that. So you can, a more collaborative process.
We often think of music as actually the driving force of the repertoire, because I'm a choreographer, but what makes me make up movement, perhaps like you guys, is when I listen to music.
I'm going to play an excerpt from L'après-midi d'un faun by Debussy now, and this is the original score from the Rambert Archive.
Music is very, very important to this artistic director. And sometimes we work out the programs with the conductor, so if someone doesn't know anything about dance, it'll be the triple bill of where the music goes. So it'll be something like really contemporary, it'll be something kind of classical, and it could be something that's really electronic.
My name's Jamie Parker, and I'm the sound engineer with Rambert Dance Company. Rainforest has a musical score that was created by David Tudor. The music always has to be performed live, and that ensures that the piece is always varied and different. And it's an experimental piece that's created using objects such as these ones that we have hanging up. With Rainforest, the dance piece is an entirely separate entity to the music. So in rehearsals, the dancers rehearse in complete silence and learn all the moves just as a sequence of moves. And it's only when we come to do the last rehearsal before the opening night that the dancers will hear the music for the first time.
Music is for your pleasure and enjoyment, but there's also something to think about, and I really like that. The triangle that Madame Rambert brought to this company, a designer, meeting a composer, meeting a choreographer, and that's at the heart of all the collaborations. So it's that mix, an enduring mystique to do with our history, a high quality production values and really high quality dancing. When you come to see the company, you know that you're really going to get your money's worth.
Rich, raw and
Rich,
relevant.
raw and relevant. That's what we are and that's what we're trying to be.